I am nipping this in the bud immediately. Done. It's over. I'm nipping this in the bud. I'm tired of going on Twitter, tired of going to Instagram, tired of going on every form of social media with the question, is water wet? Oh my God. Lord help me. Is water wet? How can something so stupid become a craze throughout the whole entire universe? And there's one obvious answer to this question. But let's just think for a sec. Give me a couple reasons why water would be wet. Well, I don't know. It gets other things wet. So why wouldn't the primary source of getting other things wet be water? Why wouldn't it be wet? Why wouldn't water be wet? And if water's not wet, what is it? Just moisture? Because if moisture's not wet, then half the stuff, we just drink moisture. We don't drink liquids or anything. Because that means fruit Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid ain't wet. That means orange juice, apple juice, that all ain't wet. Being wet by, excuse me, Google definition, being covered or saturated with water or another liquid. And they give an example too. She followed, slipping on the wet rock. Okay, that doesn't really explain anything. I don't know why. That was the adjective. The verb, to cover or touch with liquid, to moisten. The noun would be liquid that makes something damp. If you want to cover or touch something with water, the water would have to be wet in order to make that object wet, correct? Correct. Therefore, water is wet. Let's think of it this way. You have one H2O particle. You bring that one H2O particle submerged by a bunch of other H2O particles. It is wet because a bunch of H2O particles is water. Therefore, water would have to be wet in order to dampen something, to make something wet, because it has to come from the source. And the source of that wetness is the bunch of H2O particles, which is water. Understood? So, for all you guys who think that water isn't wet, water is wet, okay? So, go back to school. Go back to whatever school, high school you came from, elementary school. Water is wet. End of story. Say your rebuttal. It's irrelevant. You know why? Because water is wet. Okay? Alright. And there's no one else for me to go on. So I'm just gonna kill the same two kids. If water's not wet, what else would it be? It definitely, sure as hell ain't dry. So is water just a gas? What exactly is it then? Water is wet. Enough of my story. It is finished. It is done. Now, with that said, you don't have to go on Twitter anymore and argue your facts of why water's wet, why water's not wet, because I just explained it. It is over. The argument is done. Water is wet. Go ahead, argue with me. Call me retarded, which I probably am, but I'm 100% sure on this one. Oh, I ran out of bullets. How did he not kill me?